So I think we're right at 4:30. This is our last session before the sing-off, which we're all eagerly anticipating. This session is going to be about getting innovations to rural surgeons. I have no financial disclosures, but I do have disclosures. I'm not a rural surgeon. I was generously pegged for this talk, and I would like to thank the program chairs, Dr. Ramaswamy and Dr. Greenberg, for letting me bring this talk together, as well as to Dr. Robert Lim, who we'll be talking about in a minute, who wasn't able to be here today. And I find that I'm bringing my community surgery hat to this talk, and I'm happy to talk about my personal experience about growing my practice in my early years of attendinghood, and I owe a lot of that to SAGES, so I'm hoping to bring sort of a lot of those elements into the talk today. Here I am at Emerson Hospital. I'm a bariatric and foregut surgeon, and you can see I'm really just a stone's throw from the hub of the medical world of Boston, Massachusetts. But there's traffic and people don't like to travel. So we're going to hear about how that expands once you're in a rural setting. So Dr. Robert Lim is SAGE's executive board. He's dedicated a massive amount of his professional life to the organization. Can't be here today because he's off saving the world, doing a relief effort for the Global Surgical and Medical Support Group in the Ukraine. So Dr. Feldman had this up during her presidential address. If you would like to donate, please feel free to scan the QR code, and hopefully this also works for our listeners from home. So I'm going to just give a brief taste about why is it so important to get innovation to rural surgeons, and I'm going to really let the speakers flesh this out. And I think that this is nicely summarized by a great conversation I had with my friend Kate Straub, who's an excellent general surgeon in the middle of Washington State. She had to explain where Wenatchee, Washington was for me, East Coaster. And she said, you know, people would rather die of their jaundice rather than travel into Seattle. And I think that's a very pointed picture. So, you know, she's doing everything from Whipples to acute care surgery. And so I think we need to hear more about these surgeons that are serving a population that are not going to the Ivory Tower Academic Center. All right, so without much further ado, we're going to hear from our first speaker, who's going to tell us about surgery in rural Maine early after completing your fellowship. So come on up.